From 13 ABC, Conklin and Company, with 13 ABC Action News anchor Lee Conklin. First, with what's happening behind the headlines. And Take 3, our panel of political analysts.
Morning, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Conklin and Company. Today on the program, a judge nixes part of the law that would limit early voting for the upcoming election. Also, it's Kasich by a landslide in the fundraising race. Those topics and so much to talk about with Tom Troy, the Blade, coming up in Take 3 a little bit later. Also, the walk to end diabetes. 13 ABC and our Diane Larson, a big part of the JDRF walk to cure juvenile diabetes and diabetes of all kind. Big walk coming up. You're going to meet some people front and center in the fight to do just that. But first, saluting our true heroes. It is Heroes in Action Appreciation Week coming up this week. And you're looking at a race from a couple of years ago in the streets of downtown Toledo. We're so pleased to have Dawn Heisler, who started this organization some 10 years ago.
This year.
Yeah, and we celebrate 10 years of service to the people who make Heroes in Action happen, and of course, our true heroes. Dawn, it's great to see you again. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
This is a big week for your organization. A lot of work for you and your volunteers.
Yes.
Let's go into what this week is all about. 10 years in, and where Heroes in Action has been and where it is now.
Well, this year we have incorporated the first responders during this week as well, being a 9/11 week. So we just thought they're our heroes. They're all our heroes,
no doubt,
you know.
No doubt.
And so we decided to do this, and it's going to be a time when we bring in the school kids, and it's kind of a safety, training, educational, patriotism.
Because all-encompassing week, really, for people of all ages. Yeah. But the true beneficiaries are our servicemen and servicewomen, as has been the case for a decade now. Yes. You're joined, at 13 ABC, really proud to be part of this effort, but you're joined by a number of organizations that have really stepped up, Dawn.
Yes. Yes.
And I think of Foresters front and center. Tell us about Foresters on the River and their involvement in this.
John and his family have been so supportive. We're always able to use his facility for meetings, banquet, any type of function that we have. So we just really appreciate him.
And they're involved in almost every event this week, right? Appreciation
Week. Yes, they are.
Let's go through the events, Dawn.
Okay.
Leading up to, I think the big culmination is the race or walk and all the events that follow on Saturday.
Yes.
But what about some of the events leading up to Saturday?
We have from 10 to 2, that's when our children will be there, and they'll be in segments, and they'll go from military to military to military,
different
to
branches.
Firemen and police department. We have the Ohio patrolmen involved this year too. And so what it's about is, so you want to be a fireman, no drugs, get good grades, no record, because we want to reach them when they're young, so that when they get high school age, you know,
the message is ingrained, the positive message.
Yes.
And you also want to include ethnicities of all kind, races of all kind, and kind of a tribute each day.
Right.
Explain what that's all about.
Yes. In the afternoon, we'll be open to the public, and actually, most of this is Toledo Public Schools, but we've invited any school that wants to come for that training during that 10 to 2 hour. And then in the afternoon, it's open to the public, so they can go to each of the branches of service, or fire and police, and see some of the expeditions they're doing. We got the Coast Guard will be out there. And so then at night, we're honoring different segments of our responders, and we have Latino, the African American, the women. We have a tribute to the fallen, and just trying to honor them all. You know, that normally they don't get any recognition at all.
Well, this is all about them. It's funny, before the show began, our font, our graphic, Heroes in Action, was smaller. Your name was bigger, and you said, please, can you switch that around? And that goes to what you're all about, Dawn. So we're 10 years in. Why did you start Heroes in Action in the first place? What prompted you to get involved in this?
I had a grandson that was a Marine, and we had 2 or 3 other ladies that had boys overseas at the time. So originally we were just decided we would send them care packages, and then as we did that, other people would call and say, hey, can you put my son or daughter on the list? And so that's how it went, and then I just carried it on from there.
And you're the face of this organization, you're the voice of it, but there are other people involved.
Yes.
And talk about how much work goes into this now and how big it has become from your standpoint.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And we use volunteers for everything we do. I have some really good volunteers, and then there
You have
are,
some. How many do you have? And how many could you use?
I probably have a good 100 volunteers. But it just depends on what they do. I mean, we have business people, tradesmen, dentists, pharmacy, people like this that when I have a need, I can call them and say, hey, I need some dental work, I'm going to send them over. So we have a lot of tradesmen as well. And then you have just people that come to pack and our pre-pack. We use a lot of people. We use all ages. I mean, if family wants to come and they have a 5-year-old that wants to help, they go along and put something in the box. We leave it open to anyone who wants to participate. So there are hundreds out there. It's just like it's different needs, different people. But we're always looking for volunteers.
The website is heroesinaction.org,
yes.
correct? But everything this week leads up to the culmination over the weekend on the east side of the Maumee River, International Park. You kind of changed the route of this run.
Yes,
Gone a little
did.
more laid back. Explain why you did that, Dawn.
Well, because we wanted families involved. And so we'll have runners, and we have some that, we had one last year that brought his dog. He was a Marine dog. And so this way families can come, strollers, whatever, we don't care. It's just the honoring.
Please come, right? Please come, be part of it.
Come.
And that was 2 years ago. The irony here is that the government shutdown last year put the nix on the Heroes in Action race designed to honor the people who fight for us and protect our freedoms. So you got that back. We expect that it will go off without a hitch coming up this Saturday at International Park. And you've kind of dropped the price a little bit too. Another incentive to bring more people in.
Right. We want it affordable to our families, because with military, family time is not a lot. Because usually the spouse is gone. So we want to, everything that I do in our program, we try and involve the whole family.
All right, well, God bless you
important.
and the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Heroes in Action, go to the website if you want to take part in any of the events coming up this week, heroesinaction.org. There it is right there, the main page, celebrating 10 years of service to our heroes. So. Dawn, thanks very much. Have a great week.
Thank you.
We'll see you downtown, through a potpourri of events celebrating Heroes in Action. Thanks very much. And when we come back on Conklin and Company in just a minute, we'll talk about the fight to cure diabetes. Big walk coming up, and we'll be right back.